Hey, how's it going? My name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing my most anticipated books for the rest of the year. And yes, I do have a number of different books that I'm looking forward to for the rest of 2023. I actually have 24 books on this list. I know I really should have just rounded it off at 23 books for 2023, but we have 24 books on this list that I'm really looking forward to that published in these last 4 months of the year. But before we do jump into the books, I just wanted to take a second to thank today's video sponsor, which is EveryPlate. Because you can be getting more bang for your bite when you use America's best value meal kit. Because EveryPlate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping with no hidden fees. And I think the best thing is that they send you everything right to your door, and everything comes with little pre-proportioned ingredients, so you're not gonna have too much or too little of anything that you need. There's nothing more annoying than when you're trying to make a home-cooked meal and you realize at the last minute that you didn't pick up that one thing that you needed to make this meal, and that's why I think it's so nice and convenient with EveryPlate, because you'll have everything that you need and there won't be any food waste afterwards either. I think EveryPlate is the best way to eat affordably without giving up the quality of food that you're eating, you know, because EveryPlate is 50% cheaper than the average fast casual meal, and yet you can still feel really good about the food that you're making, and it doesn't take that long to make either. I love that with every one of these meals, all of them just come with 6 simple steps on the back that are really easy to follow. They have 26 tasty and affordable recipes that alternate every week so that you're never gonna get stuck making the same thing over and over again either, which is so great because I also feel like I'm always being introduced to new meal ideas that I never would have thought of on my own that end up being so freaking good and becoming new favorites of mine. Like, for example, this saucy chicken and pepper stir fry that I just made the other night for me and my sister. I was working with some ingredients that I've never used before, but it was so much fun to learn different things, and the meal ended up turning out so freaking good. Oh my gosh, the flavor on this chicken was so delicious. This is a recipe that I never would have been able to just think of on my own, and so I'm so glad to have EveryPlate to introduce me to new things like this. So you can get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 per meal when you go to everyplate.com and you use my code 49gabbyreads. Isn't that such an incredible deal? You go to everyplate.com, you use my code 49gabbyreads, and you can start getting your meals for $1.49 each, $1.49. That is incredible. Thank you so much to EveryPlate for sponsoring today's video. Alright, so on to all of my most anticipated books for the rest of the year. This is going to be a wide mix of genres, by the way. I have thrillers on this list, horror books, romance books, like pretty much anything that I'm into goes for this list. I'm going to be going in order of how soon they publish, so I'll be starting with the ones that are coming out in the month of August and then working my way through the rest of the year. I will also have a link down below for my Goodreads shelf. That's my most anticipated books shelf, which will include all of the books on this list that you see in this video. So without any further ado, let's get into it, starting with August. So the first book that I wanted to mention is actually a book called Mr. Magic by Kiersten White, and this one actually just published on August 1st. So by the time you're seeing this video, this book will be available. You know, I'm a little nervous about this book because it is the same author as Hyde, which was a book that I read last year that I really did not enjoy. I actually gave it 1 star. But this premise also does intrigue me because it says, who is Mr. Magic? A former child stars reunite to uncover the tragedy that ended their show and discover the secret of the enigmatic host in this dark supernatural thriller. So it sounds like it will be something that's very interesting. I love the idea of some kind of TV show reuniting, and then it's something dark. There's something dark and secretive about the host of the show. I don't really know. It sounds like it could be good. It might be terrible though, so who knows? I'm also really looking forward to The Handyman Method by Nick Cutter. This one's publishing on August 8th, so very soon here. And this one, the thing that intrigues me the most is not only because it's Nick Cutter, you know, aka the author of The Troop, one of my favorite books of all time, but it says a chilling domestic story of terror for fans of Black Mirror. I'm sorry, Black Mirror? What? And then it says, when a young family moves into an unfinished development community, cracks begin to emerge in both their new residents and their lives as a mysterious online DIY instructor delivers dark subliminal suggestions about how to handle any problem around the house. I don't really know what to expect with this. I think it's gonna give off some, you know, creepy, almost haunted house vibes to it. I don't really know, but anything Nick Cutter I will read. I really enjoy Nick Cutter's writing. I think he's great. And then we have Happiness Falls Walls by Angie Kim, and this one's coming out August 29th, and this is one that I'm so excited about because it's the same author as Miracle Creek, which is a book that I read a number of years ago now that I really enjoyed. And this one just says, when a father goes missing, his family's desperate search leads them to question everything they know about him and one another, both a riveting page-turner and a deeply moving portrait of a family in crisis. Which, you know, I really think that this is what this author is so good at for me personally. Like, Miracle Creek was such a hard-hitting, beautiful story about a family, and I'm expecting the same from this one. I don't know, I've been seeing this one getting really good reviews so far, so I'm so freaking excited. And then the last one that I wanted to mention that's coming out in the month of August is Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. This one's coming out August 29th as well, and this one's actually our September book troop pick. If you didn't hear, we're gonna be reading this for my book club in the month of September, so I'm very much looking forward to that. This one, you know, it's from Alice Feeney. It's the same author as Daisy Darker and Rock, Paper, Scissors, and I have loved a lot of the recent stuff that she's been coming out with, so I'm very much hoping to love this one as well. I don't know too much about this one other than that it says, 20 years after a baby is stolen from a stroller, a woman is murdered in a care home. The two crimes are somehow linked, and a good bad girl may be the key to discovering the truth. Like, I have no idea what to expect with this book, but I am so looking forward to it because Alice Feeney is just like that bitch for me lately. Like, I just really love her thrillers, so I will read anything she writes. Alright, and then the month of September, I have 9 books that I'm looking forward to in September. Like, wow, September is gonna be such an amazing month for books because on September 5th, there's a romance coming out called Fly With Me by Andy Burke, and this one is a female-female romance that just sounds so freaking cute and like everything that I need. Apparently one of them is a nurse who is like really afraid of flying, and the other woman is a pilot who's on the plane as far as I understand. And then I think that there's some kind of like incident that happens on the plane where like it's an emergency and they need a nurse, and so she's the one who like steps up, but then because of that I think something happens where like she misses her flight or like I don't know what, but apparently it's also enemies to lovers. Like, they don't get along at first, and it involves fake dating. Like, I literally can't make this shit up. This sounds like my dream premise for a book, so very much looking forward to Fly With Me. It also just has like the cutest cover, don't you think? Like, this is so soft and so freaking adorable. And then we have also on September 5th, there's this book coming out called There's No Way I'd Die First by Lisa Springer. This one is a young adult horror book that just looks so much fun. Like, does this cover not look so cool and like so much fun? And this one is a debut author. It says, delivers a spine-tingling contemporary horror that follows a scary movie buff as she hosts an elaborate Halloween bash on her family's estate, but soon finds the festivities upended when she and her guests are forced to test their survival skills in a deadly party game. Not only are we following a scary movie film buff, like person, like heck yes, I love that. And also like it takes place on Halloween or like around Halloween, and there's a deadly party game. Like, this just has so many things that intrigue me about it. I can't wait. Like, young adult can be very hit or miss for me, but those are a lot of buzzwords that I tend to look for, so really intrigued by this one. And then also on September 5th, that is just gonna be such a good day for publishing, there's this book coming out called The September House by Carissa Orlando, and this one is another debut novel, I'm pretty sure. It says, a woman is determined to stay in her dream home even after it becomes a haunted nightmare. And so I don't really know anything more about it, but like the idea of following a woman in a haunted house kind of thing, like I am here for this. I also really do like the cover for this one. I think it looks really nice and really beautiful, and I'm excited. Like, I'm definitely going to be checking this one out. And then September 12th, we have a few books publishing on that date as well. We have Rogue by Mona Awad, which this is the same author as Bunny, which is why I'm very intrigued by this. I don't know, Mona Awad has written some things that I've really liked, and she's written some things that I don't really care for, but this one looks interesting, and it says a horror-tinted gothic fairy tale about a lonely dress shop clerk whose mother's unexpected death sends her down a treacherous path in pursuit of youth and beauty. Can she escape her mother's fate and find a connection that is more than skin deep? So like, I don't really know what to expect with this one. I've been hearing mixed things about this book so far, so like I'm gonna go in with an open mind and just see how I feel about it, but I'm really looking forward to it because I think Mona Awad is such a great writer, and her books are always just so unique and so weird, which I really like. Then also on September 12th, we have Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. This is one that I'm really looking forward to because it's from the same author as Such Sharp Teeth and Cackle, and she's just kind of known for writing these horror books that are more like on the light-hearted, kind of like cozy side, I guess, if you will. This one sounds really interesting because we're following a cynical 20-something who must confront her unconventional family's dark secrets. And this one, the reason it intrigued me the most is because it says she grew up in this like staunchly religious community, and she's coming back to the town though for a wedding. It says she got an invitation to the wedding of Vesper's beloved cousin Rosie, and it's going to be hosted on like their family farm. It also says that she's going to be reunited with her mother, who was a former horror film star. Like a freaking horror film star? How cool is that? So like, I don't know, there's a lot of things in this one that really intrigue me, so I'm hoping that this one's gonna be great. And then on September 19th, we have this really another adorable female-female romance coming out called Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. I've read 2 of her other romance books at this point, and I've never loved a romance book from her, but this one sounds especially cute because it says it's a sapphic rivals to lovers rom-com for fans of Ted Lasso. Like, what the heck? I love Ted Lasso, and I love the idea of following 2 women who are both soccer players. This one just sounds so fun, and it says where 2 soccer teammates are at odds before falling in love as their team gears up for the World Cup. Like, how cool is that? I'm not even that big into soccer, but this one still sounds like it'll be such a fun time, so really looking forward to that. And then on September 26th, we have this one called The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin, and this one also sounds really cool. I feel like there's a lot of books coming out later this year that have like kind of like haunted house spooky vibes, and this is one of them. This one says a social media influencer with a secret past buys a murder house to renovate, but finds more than she bargained for behind the peeling wallpaper in this gothic psychological debut. So we have another debut that just sounds like it's gonna be so freaking interesting. I am here for all of the like gothic spooky house vibes that are coming our way later this year apparently. And then also on September 26th, we have this one called Black River Orchard, which is by Chuck Wendig, which is coming out. He's the same author as The Book of Accidents, which is a horror novel that I read a few years ago now that I really enjoyed. So like, I have absolutely no idea what this book is about, and the cover is kind of like, I don't love it. It's a little bit hideous, but the premise sounds interesting enough. It says a small town is transformed by dark magic when a strange tree begins bearing magical apples. I don't know what that means. I don't know if this is going to be my thing or not, because I don't love reading about like dark magic in my books, but at the same time, like, I'm intrigued because of this author. So I don't know, like, if this book gets really good reviews, I'm probably going to be checking it out. And then also the last book coming out in September that I'm really excited about is The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson. So usually I don't really care about like Christmas themed books, like they're just not usually my thing, but this one sounds interesting because it's a thriller novella. Okay, so like it's a short thriller from Peter Swanson. And this one, the premise just sounds really interesting because it sounds like we're following this girl who's this lonely American student who's studying in London, and she's gonna be going to this family's house for Christmas who she doesn't really know, I'm guessing. It just sounds like it's gonna be really interesting, and I'm so curious because I don't know if I've ever really read a thriller novella. Peter Swanson is on my good side again after I loved his new release this year, so like, hopefully this will be another winner for me. And then for the month of October, I have 8 different books that I'm really looking forward to that come out in October. The first one is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead, which is coming out on October 3rd. Ashley Winstead is, you know, one of my favorite authors. After In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, I will be reading anything that she puts out. And this one says it's a gothic southern thriller about a killer haunting a small Louisiana town where 2 outcasts, the preacher's daughter and the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, hold the key to uncovering the truth. And this one says for fans of Verity and A Flicker in the Dark. What the heck? I don't really know what to expect with this one, but it sounds like it's gonna be so freaking interesting. And then also on October 3rd, we have A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand, and this is a book that I don't even fully understand like what the heck this means, but it says Elizabeth Hand comes the first ever authorized novel to return to the world of Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. And so from what I understand, this story is about Hill House or whatever, but it's like a different story because it says we follow a character named Holly who has been a struggling playwright for years, and then but now she has received a grant to develop her play, and so she's gonna go to Hill House to write her play, I think. And then it also says that she has a girlfriend who agrees agrees to go to the house with her for a month. And so it's like Haunting of Hill House, but make it gay. Like, I don't really know what this is exactly, but I am so curious and so excited to check it out. And then also on October 3rd, we have my queen, Jennifer McMahon, is publishing a new book called My Darling Girl. And this is another one where, oh my gosh, I don't even care what it's about because it's Jennifer McMahon, who is, you know, she wrote The Winter People, one of my favorite horror books of all time. And I've loved so many books from Jennifer McMahon, so I'm really excited to check out this one. It says this is a spine-tingling psychological thriller about a woman who, after taking in her dying alcoholic mother, begins to suspect demonic possession is haunting her family. Like, what? That sounds incredible. And then also on October 3rd, there are so many books coming out on October 3rd, what the heck. There's this anthology called Out There Screaming that is an anthology of black horror by Jordan Peele. Like, can you believe this? Jordan Peele himself has put together this anthology. That sounds so cool. And it says the visionary writer and director of Get Out, Us, and Nope curates this groundbreaking anthology of all new stories of black horror, exploring not only the terrors of the supernatural, but the chilling reality of injustice that haunts our nation. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so freaking good. I can already feel it in my soul that this is going to like slap so hard. And I can't wait to check it out because I've been getting so much more into anthologies lately, and I trust Jordan Peele with my life. There's also some authors in here that I recognize that, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna do amazing things with this. Like, I can just feel it. So I can't wait to check that out. And then on October 10th, there's this book coming out called Last to Leave the Room by Caitlin Starling. And this one is from the same author as The Death of Jane Lawrence, which was a book that I think I DNF'd like right away. Like, that book was not for me, but this one sounds really interesting because it says it's a genre-busting speculative horror. And the thing that sounds so cool about this one is that we're following a character, and it says she finds a door that didn't exist before, and one night it opens to reveal an exact physical copy of her. Like, hell no, dude. I hate like doppelganger stuff in horror. Like, oh my god, that scares me so much. So it says this doppelganger is sweet, where she is calculating and cruel, but it appears fully terribly human, and they can't figure out like what happened with this door. Like, I don't even know. I'm just so excited and so curious to check it out. Like, the idea of a doppelganger just really like scares the shit out of me. And then also on October 10th, we have Normal Women by Ansley Hogarth, which this is the same author as Mother Thing, which is a book that I read earlier this year that ended up being one of my personal faves of the whole year. And this one says it's a darkly comic story about how we value female labor and don't. A new mother becomes embroiled in a dangerous mystery when her friend, a controversial entrepreneur, goes missing. And I think the thing that I love the most about Mother Thing was how like grounded and real it felt. Which it seems like this one's gonna have like a very similar thing to it, you know? Like, I love the discussion of like a feminist themed kind of like horror book. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And then also on October 10th, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. This is a romance that's called Stars in Your Eyes by Kaysen Callender. And Kaysen Callender is the same author as Felix Ever After, which is like one of my favorite young adult books of all time. But this one is an adult male-male romance book. And it says a beautifully tender story of two grumpy sunshine fake dating actors navigating their love both on and off screen. And it says perfect for fans of Casey McQuiston. Like, oh my god, oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Like, this might be my most anticipated romance of like the second half of the year, because are you kidding me? It says we follow Logan Gray, who is Hollywood's bad boy, a talented but troubled actor who the public loves to hate. And then Maddie Cole is an up-and-coming golden boy, adored by all, but plagued by insecurities. And then they are both cast as the leads in a new romantic film, and to create better buzz for their film, because they've been known to like not really get along and not like each other, but to create buzz for the film, their teams make them into like this fake dating situation. It does sound very like Red, White, and Royal Blue, but with actors, and like, I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be so cute. And then, oh my gosh, okay, this one's coming out on literally October 31st, like on Halloween. It's called Nestlings by Nat Cassidy, which this is the same author as Mary, that horror book that came out last year that everybody was really hyped about, that I thought was just okay, but I was really curious to check out more from this author in the future. And this one, oh my gosh, this one sounds like it's gonna be everything. It says this book is the creeping paranoia of Rosemary's Baby and the urban horror of Salem's Lot, set in an exclusive New York City residential building. What? That was so many different buzzwords that intrigued me, and it takes place in New York, so like, say less, I'm picking this book up. But this one says the horrifically complicated birth of their first child has left Anna paralyzed, bitter, resentment for her baby. But then it says that's about to change with the words any New Yorker would love to hear: affordable housing lottery. It says they've won an apartment in one of Manhattan's most reserved buildings with beautiful vistas of Central Park and stunning architecture. And it says Reed dismisses disturbing events and Anna's deep unease and paranoia as the price of living in New York. People are odd, but he can't explain the needle-like bite marks on the baby? Like, I'm sorry, what? Bite marks on the baby? So I'm so intrigued. I'm like, is this vampires? Because the way it compares it to Salem's Lot, I'm like, what is going on in this book? I need to know right fucking now. It sounds so good. Does it not sound so good? So that's very exciting. I cannot wait for this one. Okay, and then in the month of November, I only have one book so far in the month of November that I'm really excited about, but I am so excited about this one because it's Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry, which is coming out November 14th. And Christina Henry is the same author as Near the Bone, which is just chef's kiss, one of my top favorite horror books that I've ever read in my freaking life. And this one says it's a sharp-edged, supremely twisty thriller about three women who find themselves trapped inside stories they know aren't their own. What does that even mean? I don't know. But it says Celia wakes up in a house that's supposed to be hers. There's a little girl who claims to be her daughter and a man who claims to be her husband. It says Allie is supposed to be on a fun weekend trip, but then her friend's boyfriend unexpectedly invites the group to a remote cabin in the woods. And it says Maggie just wants to be home with her daughter, but she's in a dangerous situation and she doesn't know who put her there or why. She'll have to fight with everything she has to survive. And it says 3 women, 3 stories, only one way out. This captivating novel will keep readers guessing until the very end. Like, what the heck? I don't even know what this is gonna be, but it sounds so cool. So I'm definitely going to be checking this one out because I love Christina Henry. I think she's fantastic. And then the last 2 books that I have on this list that are coming out in December this year, the first one is Heartstopper Volume 5. I don't know if this is going to be the final volume of Heartstopper, but I think that I've heard rumors that this might be the final novel of Heartstopper. Now I'm trying to remember. Regardless, it's the next volume of Heartstopper, which is a series that I just absolutely adore with my whole heart. And I think this one says it's going to be coming out December 19th, but I'm not totally sure on the date quite yet because I think it publishes on different days for the UK and the US, but it is supposed to be coming out in December and I'm so excited because the first 4 volumes of Heartstopper are just like my whole freaking world, like my whole heart. And Heartstopper, if you haven't heard by now, it's this beautiful young adult gay graphic novel series and it's just so freaking cute and so good. The new season actually just came out on Netflix. The season 2 just came out and it's just all the hype right now, you know? So I'm very much looking forward to the 5th and what I think is the final volume. And then lastly, there's this romance coming out on December 26th that's called On the Plus Side by Jenny L. Howe. And this one says it's for fans of Queer Eye, which like, I love Queer Eye. And it says a heartfelt and hilarious rom-com about the newest star of a plus-size makeover show as she tries and fails not to catch feelings for her cameraman on national TV. Ooh. Okay, I've discovered that I really love when there's some kind of like reality show trope in a book and it's about the star of the reality show like falling for the person behind the camera. I'm obsessed. It reminds me of like The Charm Offensive. It's like, it's giving all of those vibes. And also I wrote down on my little notes here, I put in her name in this book is Everly Winters. Like, how cute of a name is that, Everly Winters? I just love that so much. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's gonna be so cute. And yeah, those are all of the books that I'm looking forward to for the rest of this year. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? There are so many exciting things coming up in the last few months of this year. I can't even believe it. So I would love to know if you have added any of these books to your TBR or if there were any that you like already knew about that you're just super hyped about. I would also love to know if there's any books coming out in later this year that I didn't mention that you're really looking forward to, especially if you also think it would be something I would be interested in and I don't know about it. I would love to know any of the books that you're looking forward to for the rest of this year. And thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!